Hey, right. Spider-Man. It's a new series, and it's called Versus. I don't know if I've called it Versus yet, but I haven't come up with what it's called, but Versus.
Anything better.
Yeah. And this one, as it's drawing closer to Spider-Man,
Yeah.
I thought we would decide who the best Spider-Man is. So get ready to be triggered, Marvel fans and Tobey Maguire fans, because it's only Tobey Maguire fans that get triggered. Get ready to be triggered, because we're going to trigger you like mad. Katie, who's the best Spider-Man? No, I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the list of what we're judging these Spider-Men on.
Okay.
Who's the best Spider-Man? Who's the best... not who's the best Tobey Maguire. Who's the best Peter Parker? Suits. Movies. Villains. Co-stars. Okay?
What do you mean, like supporting characters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's start off. Who's the best Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
I'm just going to say my first opinion is I don't think there's been a bad Spider-Man. I don't think any three of them have been bad.
I think the different, which is what's good, they never like tried to be the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I like all of them. I think Tom Holland's the best as a teenage Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like the youngest of them.
He's like he's got that innocence down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew Garfield was good because he was like, I felt like he went for the more humorous side when he was Spider-Man, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed the humour that came from that.
Yeah. I think Tobey Maguire was a really good Spider-Man because it was more about what he means to not just sort of people that he cared about, but to like all of New York. He was important.
Yeah.
Such as the sort of the power of Spider-Man. So that being said, who's the best Peter Parker? We didn't actually say who was the best. We just said that we were like all of them. Anyway, who's the best Peter Parker? That was the question.
I think. In terms of like, I mean, I would probably go Tobey Maguire.
Best Peter Parker.
Just because he was like that. He was like that. You know, like he had his camera. He took photos. He was like geeky, like awkward. They kind of. Andrew Garfield's character kind of did that, but then he kind of lost it, yeah. And Tom Holland's, again, like it started off like they started off with the geekiness, like they had bits of like where they were building like the Lego Star Wars sets.
Yeah, and the DVD players and stuff.
Yeah, and then it kind of moved away from that.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Tobey Maguire's, it stayed through the whole thing. He was always awkward and he was always like that shy, geeky guy who didn't really have a backbone on the surface. So probably Tobey Maguire for me.
Yeah, a lot of people. One of the things that always made me laugh was one of the criticisms of Andrew Garfield is that people said he was too good looking to be Peter Parker. But if you look at literally every like comic variation, every different sort of thing, even Stanley himself has said Peter Parker's meant to be a good looking lad, but he's also meant to be one of those people who sort of fades into the background. Yeah. Which is I think all three of them kind of do. But Tobey Maguire, you were right. I think Tobey Maguire did that. Tobey Maguire's version was better at showing how he sometimes struggles to balance Peter Parker with Spider-Man, and that he always puts Spider-Man before Peter Parker. Yeah. Whereas the other two haven't really had a chance to do that yet. It's harder. It's obviously harder for Tom Holland now because in every single film, more people have figured out who he is. Where Tobey Maguire, not really anyone knew who he was. Yeah.
And Andrew Garfield, the same thing.
It was only Gwen Stacy who figured out who he was. Yeah, I think they're not all bad. I don't think any of them are bad. I think it definitely goes Tobey Maguire, probably Tom Holland, probably Andrew Garfield. Because I would probably... But as far as how faithful it is to Peter Parker, then Tobey Maguire is definitely the best one. Next, what else did I say? There was 6. Suit. Who has the best suit? Call me crazy, I never liked OG Sam Raimi's suit. I never liked it. I don't know what it is about it that I don't like, but I never liked it.
I never really liked the
webbing.
The webbing, yeah. I like the overall design, but just the webbing, I don't know. Something about the webbing I didn't like.
I also didn't like how one of my bugs was in almost every version of the film, like a section of his mask would be gone.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like one of his eyes, like one of the sort of webbed eye things would be gone.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, the other one that was still there would be like up here.
Yeah.
Like his eyes aren't up here; they're down here. And I don't know why that. I don't know, something about the Sam Raimi suit always bugged me.
It's like that thing whenever Batman would take off his mask and he wouldn't have the black paint around his eyes, kind of thing.
Well, that only happened once.
I know, but it's that kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the change in the costume is annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult to say because Tom Holland's Spider-Man has had so many suits.
Yeah.
I
really disliked that Andrew Garfield suit though. I didn't mind the one in the second one, but that one I really didn't like.
Why? What was
I don't know. It's another one of the things. I can't explain why I don't like it, but I never liked it. I liked the one that he had in the second one. I did like that. That suit was a lot more faithful.
I feel like Tom Holland's suit, they kind of took... It has a very similar design to Tobey Maguire's when you look at them. It's just it hasn't got the sticky out webbing, which I didn't like. Fair enough, his logo's a bit smaller, but... I mean, it's not...
It's not terrible, is it?
No. To be honest, I prefer the black and red one that he has. I don't know what it is about that one because it's quite plain, but I like it better than the original suit.
I think it also plays into the fact that Tom Holland is obviously part of a bigger thing, isn't it? Because the suit's been made by Iron Man.
Yeah.
The black one wasn't, but this one was. So for me, it would probably go Andrew Garfield in Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the best one. I think that's the best Spider-Man one. Then probably Sam Raimi, then probably Tom Holland.
Yeah. I think it's just hard with Tom Holland because he had so many suits. If I was just going off the first suit, I'd probably have Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland's first suit like on the same level. There are bits I don't like about both, but they're not bad. They're not terrible.
Yeah.
It's just
villains. I think it goes without saying that Tobey Maguire had the best villains.
I mean, you haven't really seen many of Tom Holland's villains.
Apart from Venom. Venom wasn't very good. At all.
I think that's universally known, yeah.
But Green Goblin, awesome. Doc Ock.
Both of them.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Harry.
Harry, yeah.
No.
You didn't like Harry?
No.
I thought he was alright.
No, not for me. Not for me. I didn't like his run as the Goblin. I loved Willem Dafoe. Like the story should have been more about Sandman. Sandman should have been because it would have been the first one who. Well, not really the first one, but Sandman should have been the villain. Venom should not have been the villain. Harry should not have been as big as he was in the story either. But Doc Ock, especially Doc Ock. Doc Ock was the best out of a lot of them. But Green Goblin was good as well. Poor Andrew Garfield had some pants villains.
Electro.
Some proper pants villains.
I just can't get over Electro.
All of them. I didn't like any of the villains.
Didn't like any of them.
Electro was not very good. That version of Green Goblin, despite it being that DeHaan fellow, he was a good actor, but a terrible Green Goblin. And the Lizard, just not very good.
Yeah. It's a shame because I feel like the stories and how like it affected Peter was right. It was just the execution and the follow through of like bring them to life. It was just
a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
Tom Holland. The only thing I've got with Tom Holland's villains, and obviously when we say villains, I mean the Vulture and Mysterio. The only issue that I have with them is that it fell into the pattern of Iron Man did a thing, now we're the bad guys because of it, which is just everything is Iron Man's fault. Doing
it once is fine, but once it gets past like it's not even just, it's like, don't get me wrong, like Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio, it was like Dreamcast for me.
Oh yeah.
He was like brilliant. I felt like I don't know the name of the actor.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, not Jake Gyllenhaal.
For who?
Vulture.
Michael Keaton.
You
don't know who 1989's Batman was?
I couldn't think of his name. Michael Keaton. They were both really good.
Well, I didn't mind the Vulture, and those things I didn't mind them. Like they were okay. They weren't terrible. They weren't by any means Electro. They weren't Electro.
Yeah.
But I just don't like the same motive. They're essentially the same character.
And it's going to be the same thing in this next movie, isn't it? In No Way Home, it's because Mysterio.
Yeah,
like Tony Stark calls Mysterio.
At that point, I'm not that bothered though, because that's 2 steps down the line. You're creating more villains from a different film at that point. You're not just saying, "Oh, but this is Iron Man's fault."
Well, it's kind of everything is Iron Man's fault in this phase so far.
So I think it's Tobey Maguire villains, Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield. How many have we done? That's 4. What's the next one? Movies. So who's got the best movies? This is the one that's going to trigger people, isn't it? So when we talk about movies...
just go through... Why don't we go through the individual people and say which was like the best movies, and then summarise...
Oh yeah, okay, so... Tobey Maguire's best movie, 2.
Mm-hmm. And then 1.
And then 3. Yeah, because 3 was pants! Did you know Sam Raimi didn't want Venom to be in that film?
I think you can tell. I think everyone could tell.
They were like, oh yeah, but Venom's marketable. And it's like, throw him in and have him make some funny jokes. And it's like, haha, lol, Kirsten Dunst is pretty, right? You get it? Because I'm evil. And she's pretty. Well... lol. Yeah. So the third one, definitely the worst one. I suppose it's down to preference on the other 2. It just depends which one you prefer. But
to be fair, I'd probably put the first one first.
Would you?
Yeah. Just because I like... I don't know, something about his origin. I liked it.
Yeah.
I like the fact it showed you like him getting his powers and stuff and making the suit and doing the whole...
Except he had the ridiculous sort of...
the sticky out things, yeah.
No,
I thought you meant
not the claw things. I mean
the fact he just did that.
Web puddle on his arm.
And it came out, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything with Uncle Ben and Aunt May I liked in that one as well. So I'd put the first one first.
It's got a cool scene in the first one where he's trying to save MJ and the kids, and Green Goblin's just about to come in and stab him, and all of New York's there on the bridge and they try to help him. That was nice. I like that bit. Because that's what I mean. That's why Tobey Maguire's one was a good one, is that it showed how much he meant to New York as well. But that's also why I love the second one, because the second one has that train scene. And although he's got that like ridiculous sort of face that he does,
yeah,
it's still cool when they all sort of carry him and he's like Jesus. They carried him like Jesus.
Yeah, and they like keep a secret.
Yeah.
I know you were saying about everyone knowing about Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but like didn't like an entire train knew who Tobey Maguire was.
But don't worry, because that kid in the flaming shirt said that they won't tell anyone.
Yeah. Well.
Always trust kids because they never lie. Yeah. What about Tom Holland?
Well, I mean, he's only had 2 movies.
So it's Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. So it's.
I think it's preference again, isn't it? I just think it's whichever you prefer.
Yeah, I would probably say the second one is my favourite, and then the first one, purely just because I felt like Jake Gyllenhaal was so great. For his performance alone, I would put that above the first one.
I would say the other one. I would say the first one.
The first one first.
Because I like the bit where he's under all the rubble, and he's like, "Come on, Spider-Man! Come on, Spider-Man! Come on!"
Yeah.
He's lifting himself up.
Yeah, because
I also like the few interactions with Iron Man as well.
Yeah, I guess that was good because it was like he isn't just the suit. He's
that's probably the best takeaway from that film, is that he goes from being someone who wants to be the Avengers, so he's overdoing everything, and he's trying to do this, to being he wants to just be Spider-Man instead of the little guys. And that's what's so important about Spider-Man. Second, Andrew Garfield.
Probably the second one first, and then the first one.
I think it's equal playing field. I don't like either of them more than the other one, because they're essentially the same story. It's essentially the same. It's the love sort of relationship, isn't it?
Yeah, the reason I put that one as my favourite just because of Gwen Stacy.
Which one, the second one?
Yeah.
What, when she dies?
Not when she dies, just Emma Stone's whole performance as Gwen Stacy in that movie.
Yeah, that was the best one, because Gwen Stacy, the love of my life, died. No, yeah, I can understand that. But I also liked... What scene was this? There's a scene in one of them where it's... Oh, it's the second one, yeah. It shows it does it once or twice with the other two, but not really like that. Is that he drops in to help the kid that's being bullied. There's like a kid being bullied, they're sort of like breaking all of his stuff, and he drops in to help him. And he frightens all the other kids off.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, it's really important from the same as the Tom Holland thing. It's important to show what he means to people because he helps individuals.
Well, he did that with Electro, didn't he? Before he became Electro, he stopped and he helped him, and he was like, you know, you're my eyes and ears around it. Like they're kind of a nice interaction.
Yeah, it's sort of it's 6 and 2/3 to me. I don't really have a favourite out of the two of them.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's essentially the same story. It's just can he coexist with Gwen? At the end of the first one, he can't because his dad guilt tripped him into not being with her. And then in the second one, it's like he can't because she dies, and it proves why they can't be together. And it's kind of like,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know, to me, it's 6 and 2/3. So who I would say, Tobey Maguire has the best films. No, sorry, Tobey Maguire has the best film, but he also has the worst film.
Yeah.
I will never forgive Spider-Man 3. I will never forgive it. How are you going to go from Spider-Man 2 to Spider-Man 3? How are you going to go from Alfred Molina to whoever the hell played Venom? I don't even know his name. No, yeah, not for me.
What, in the third one? Oh, it's that James Franco?
No.
But no, not Venom. No, not Venom. I'm thinking of Green Goblin. That's James Franco. No, he was in that 70s show, wasn't he? That guy that played Venom.
Yeah. I would say it probably goes, if it's my ranking, it would be Spider-Man 2, probably Spider-Man 1, then Homecoming, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
No Way Home.
No.
Well, isn't that
That's the second one. What's the second one called?
Far From Home.
Far From Home, that's the one. Then Amazing Spider-Man 1, then Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 is the worst Spider-Man film. Without question. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like those middle ones are interchangeable.
Let's hope that No Way Home shoots
them
right to the top. Oh, we never even spoke about Into the Spider-Verse. Who cares?
I think everyone can collectively agree Into the Spider-Verse is an incredible movie.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant film. So we've done movies. Which one was that? That one was movies, wasn't it? Have we done villains?
Yeah.
Done villains. Co-stars.
Yeah. We need to do co-stars.
Co-stars. I think Tom Holland doesn't have the best co-stars. I think Tobey Maguire has the best Aunt May, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know. I mean, people for some reason people don't like the fact that the Aunt Mays are getting younger.
Well, I mean, Melissa Tomei, like Tom Holland's Aunt May, isn't actually like
that young.
Like she looks great for her age.
Yeah.
I think she's in her 50s or something, which is younger than obviously Tobey Maguire's Aunt May, but it's not like she's like in her 30s. Like I thought she was when I first saw her.
And the other thing is whenever people rage about that, I just say, well, it makes more sense to have an aunt. You know, it wouldn't have made sense for him to have an 80-year-old aunt when he's 17.
Yeah.
Like I know there's some familial extremes in the world, but not very often. But I did like the Aunt May in Tobey Maguire's. I do like Marissa Tomei. I think she should be okay, I suppose. Andrew Garfield, it was Fenella Fielding, I think it was. I think that's who it was. Was that who it was? I can't remember. I'm not going to Google it. She was a bit forgettable.
Yeah, there's nothing really like brilliant about, like, memorable about her performance.
Yeah.
I feel like it wasn't really about that though, was it?
No.
I felt like with the main focus in the first, like, the main thing was like Uncle Ben, wasn't it? And then after that they kind of just forgot about Aunt May.
Yeah. She has a few things in the second one, but it wasn't really that important. I suppose the next one would be love interests. Tobey Maguire obviously has Mary Jane. It was.
I didn't really like. I don't know if it's just me, but I wasn't really that into.
Kirsten Dunst.
It was just the same stuff. It was she gets captured, he has to save her. She does that annoying scream. It's like she falls from a building, he has to catch her. It was just like
typical damsel in
it's like
distress.
Character development, guys. Come on, give us something here.
Yeah.
It's like it didn't need to be the same thing over and over again. It just got a bit annoying.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Emma Stone is brilliant.
Yeah.
I think everyone can agree Emma Stone is bloody brilliant.
Yep. Absolutely. Fell in love with her in that film. And then was heartbroken at the end of the second.
Yeah, you refused to watch any of the Amazing Spider-Man movies because she wasn't going to be in it. I remember you saying that after we walked out the cinema. Yeah. I
know, I was devastated. The thing is, though, if you remember, because I don't know if you remember this, because I was in college when it came out, I knew unquestionably that she was going to die as well. I told everyone that she was going to die. And everyone was like, no, they wouldn't dare do that, don't do it. It was like, literally, she's wearing the clothes that she dies in the comics. She's wearing those clothes. So of course she's going to die.
Yeah.
I was devastated as well. I went to see it in the cinema. I actually wept. The film wasn't even that good, but I wept.
That whole scene was really sad, though.
Mm.
Andrew Garfield was really, really brilliant.
That's the other thing as well about that, is that it worked really well with them two because they've got really good chemistry together.
Yeah.
I suppose you could say that Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst had a bit of chemistry, but I don't think it was the same as Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Did you know that Shailene Woodley was going to be Mary Jane?
Yeah, there was a deleted scene, wasn't there?
Weird.
Wasn't she gonna?
Yeah, that would have been weird.
Zendaya is
Zendaya. I mean, she's quirky, I guess, but
yeah. I mean, I think she's a little. She's not like your typical damsel in distress, which I was like, okay, thank God she isn't just falling off a building and getting caught every 5 minutes. But it's like, I feel like they went for the angsty teen thing, and it's like, I know the teenagers, but like shouldn't have to be, you didn't have to go the full.
The other thing is as well, I don't like how she just knew that he was Spider-Man. I mean, I suppose it is kind of obvious in this version of that it's him, but
yeah, like he's always leaving conveniently when something happens. I wasn't
overly a big fan of everyone finding out that he's Spider-Man anyway. I suppose it's obviously gonna play a big part in the next film, but it's just
yeah. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I felt like this is probably going to get me like loads of hate, but I would put her portrayal of MJ over Kristen Dunst.
Ooh.
Just because it's the little thing with Kristen Dunst as MJ that it's not her fault. I felt like her playing the character was great. It was just the writing and the fact she was always
the one that needed saving.
Yeah, it was just there was no development in that character in that point.
Yeah, she didn't at any point think, okay, maybe I should take a pepper spray out with me, or
maybe I should like a
knife or something.
Yeah, like I know who Spider-Man is. Can you not maybe help me learn a few moves? It was just like, come on, we get it. Yeah. She doesn't need to keep on going through the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Just a little annoying.
You would say Emma Stone, Zendaya, then Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
I would probably put it the other way around.
You'd put it the other way around?
Yeah, because taking all the damsel bits out, I wasn't that bothered. I wasn't that bothered about always being saved.
You weren't that bothered?
I mean, I completely agree that she shouldn't always be the damsel in distress, but I'm not bothered.
It was just like, maybe it's just me as a female. Maybe I'm just like a bit, but it's just like after 3 movies and she's still going through the same crap. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So best friend characters.
Mm-hmm.
James Franco.
Who was
Garfield's best friend? Did Andrew Garfield have any friends?
Would you not say it was also supposed to be Harry Osborn?
I suppose. I swear his name's like Dane DeHaan or something like that.
Ooh, sure.
It is.
Sure. I've only seen one other movie with him in it.
Chronicle.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. What's his name? Tell us your name, cast. Ah, see, Dane DeHaan. I was right.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I mean, James Franco was okay in the first two films, but then the third movie wasn't very good. I didn't like him in the third movie. It's like, oh no, I hit my head, I've forgotten everything. Oh no, I've hit my head again, I remember everything. That's just lazy writing. It's the old, oh, I've been knocked on the head routine. Now I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Dane DeHaan I didn't think was much better. He was just a little brat, wasn't
he? Yeah. He was like, I'm rich, so you have to give me your blood, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't listen to him when he was trying to logically explain why it was a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah. I don't mind Ned.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't really feel all that strongly about him. I don't get that emotional about, his portrayal. I think he was okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was more of like the comic relief, wasn't he? In the movie, he was like every best friend ever. If they found out that the best friend was a superhero, would just be totally like fangirl and like want to know everything.
Yeah.
Being daft.
Yeah, I didn't mind him. For me, it would probably be James Franco or Ned. I don't know the guy's name.
Yeah.
James Franco and Ned.
I think it's like Jacob something.
James
Franco
first. Ned,
first.
Dane DeHaan, yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
So in total, I would think, wrapping this up, because it's only half an hour, wrapping this up, I think, based on what we said, the correct order would probably be Tobey Maguire,
Tom Holland, and then Andrew Garfield. Would it be that? They'd probably be about even.
Yeah,
me,
I would probably
Garfield,
say Tobey Maguire and then Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
But not that much given Tobey Maguire the win.
I think, though, the main thing, it's little things.
Yeah. Like, I don't think...
They all have the flaws, and they all have stuff that made them great.
I don't think you can definitively say that one of them is the best one.
It's like, do you know what it really bugs us when people say, like, oh, my favourite Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man because it's the original. It's like, you have nothing better to say other than the fact it's original.
Well, technically it's not the original because there was 1970 Spider-Man films, so,
Well, yeah, but like...
If that's your argument, you're wrong.
But it's just like, you couldn't have said anything other than just the fact that it was the newer original.
Because it was the first one, yeah.
It's like, that's not how it works.
No. If that was the case, then the Lord of the Rings trilogy would not be the best because it's not the original. There was a Lord of the Rings film before those three films. I think we can all agree that animated film is not as good as the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Okay.
But, that being said, again, discuss it down in the comments. Tell us how you would rate all those criteria. Be nice about it. Hopefully you're not too triggered. Although, you're the internet, so you're probably dead triggered.
Probably. It's fine. I feel it's probably going to be me that's triggered people.
Yeah. Although I said I didn't like Tobey Maguire's suit, so that triggered a few people as well. Yeah, let us know.
Just an opinion.
Yeah.
If you get offended by an opinion, then...
Soz. But, yeah. Let us know.
Do you feel like Tom Holland's suit, I've just looked there, do you think his suit on the bottom looks like denim?
Yeah.
I
think Tobey Maguire's suit looks like he's wearing jeggings.
Yeah. At least he's not wearing get spandex. Andrew Garfield's.
Yeah. But, like the video, subscribe, ding the bell to be notified when we upload. We upload every day. Anything else you want to say?
Sorry for triggering you. I feel like it's probably the Kristen Dunst thing that's triggered people, if anything, because I didn't say anything trigger worthy. But oopsies.
Thank you for watching. Go get us, Tiger.
I need to know.